Well, there's a movie that I once saw, and I don't remember the title. So I want to tell you the plot and see if it rings a bell. I saw this many years ago on late night TV. It involves a young man somewhere, maybe it's the California coast. He's wandering there, and he sees a path, so he decides to follow it. Following the path, there's a house, and there's a beautiful young lady who is friendly. You know, she says hello, hi. They start talking, and she invites him to come to her house and meet her parents. So her parents are a couple of middle-aged people, nice-looking people. The girl takes him upstairs to show him her room and things. While the father says to the mother, "Do you think she called him?" And the mother says, "Yeah, she probably did. You know, she's a young lady now. She's lonely. She wants a young man in her life." So upstairs, the guy and the girl are getting acquainted. And suddenly, a very old, ugly woman comes crashing into the room, long white hair, burns on her face, horrible to look at. She says, "You better get out of here." And the poor guy is very frightened. The girl grabs the old woman and says, "I told you not to come in when I'm with someone." She takes him into another room and locks the door. She says, "You stay there." Comes back to the bedroom, tells the young man, "I'm very sorry, that's my great-grandmother. She's crazy. We're the only ones who can take care of her, so she lives with us. I'm very sorry. It won't happen again." So, she leaves the guy alone to go back to her parents. And he starts looking around, and he sees signs that things are not right in this place. That maybe they're witches or devil worshippers or something. The father catches him snooping. And he says, "Son, you know too much." The father's a big, strong guy. He takes the boy downstairs, and he chains him in the garage. And he says, "I'll have to decide what to do with you." The girl comes, and she tells the story. 150 years ago, they were practicing some kind of sorcery or witchcraft or whatever, and the devil came. So the devil said, "I will give you long-lasting youth if you will have me for your master." They were the mother and father, and they were two daughters. So the mother, father, and the girl all said, "Yes, we'll do it." The sister, on the other hand, said, "No, I will not give myself to the devil." So the devil set fire to her, had her burned up horribly, but not killing her. He said, "You'll have to get old now, while the others will stay young." So that is who that old woman was. It was really the girl's sister. So at the climax of this story, the devil, it's 150 years later or so, and the devil comes again, and he tells the young man, "If you have me for your master, you and her can stay young for another 150 years. Otherwise, I'll burn you both, like I did to her sister." And the young man, it ends with the young man saying, "Yes, I will have you." Did you ever see that? Does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah, start talking about yourself.
I've been acting for about 21 years now. I've been in several hundred projects. I'm getting old. I don't know what the future holds for me. I feel very young and energetic, but in the last year and a half, I've had fewer opportunities. So it could be because of the economy, and it could be because of my age. But in any event, I intend to continue to pursue this. I was supposed to be in a martial arts movie this month, but I have not heard from them, and I kind of don't think I'm going to. They keep on putting things in backstage that the movie's in preparation, but my experience is that those people who say they have movies in preparation and backstage don't generally make the movie. So we'll see what else I can get. I answered a few ads yesterday from backstage, and I will answer more next week. As long as there's something I can apply for, I will apply for it. We'll go to Kim's now, and I'll show you the cover of Late Fee. You can see my picture on it. Don't you just love that? think they have Blitzkrieg, Escape from Stalag 69 there also. You know, I was down in J&R earlier this week, and they have both late fee and Blitzkrieg here. Of course, my part in Blitzkrieg is much smaller, but I'm still in it. Having a small part is better than having no part. I'm hoping to live a long time and continue to do it for a long time. And even if the number of parts I get diminishes, I will still continue trying to get them. So, remind me one day to show you the werewolf, not the vampire movie, which Dave and I made. I don't think I ever showed you that one. It's called Love and the Vampire. And it's about an hour long, not a very high production value. Couldn't call it a really professional movie, but I think the storyline is pretty good. And I play the vampire. Someday...
Talk about the movie.
What?
Talk about the movie.
Love and the Vampire?
Yeah.
Well, it involves a young lady who comes to New York searching for her sister who has gone missing. And she happens to meet Dave, who's a man who wants to kill me. I am the vampire who killed his family over a century ago. As a vampire, I don't get old and die. And when I killed Dave's family, in his anguish, he called out to the Supreme Being and made a very powerful, sincere prayer that he be granted the power to combat me, including living, you know, as long as I do. And it begins with him trying to catch me, but I am a vampire, and I can appear and disappear at will, so I just, whenever he's about to catch me, I just disappear. And then he meets this girl who comes from Canada looking for her missing sister. Watch this lady. And he and she like each other, but Dave, having lost his family, feels that he cannot love again. It hurt him too much, and his whole being is dedicated to finding this vampire, that's me, and killing me. So at one point, he comes close. I have my own female vampire made of it. Together we killed Steve Aarons in the movie. You met Steve once at Eva's. And we kill other people too. And there are other girls who like Dave, but he just won't go with them. But then Dave almost gets me and does get my female companion. He kills her because he has the power to kill vampires with his very touch. In this movie, the way we do is the vampires don't drink blood. What they do is we grab people and they disintegrate in our hands because we suck the life out of them. And we did this with a simple camera trick which just involves shooting someone, stopping the camera, been holding the camera still, then the person moves out of frame, then we start the camera again, and it looks as if the person just evaporated. So anyway, in the middle of the movie there's a big confrontation between Dave and I, in which I tell him, why don't you give this up? And he says he'll never give it up. And it ends with me going, you can't kill me, I'm 3,000 years old. And I disappear again. But at the climax of the movie, where Dave has not been able to accept the love of the young heroine, I, wanting to get even with him, lure the heroine into a trap. And I have her. Dave is not there. And I'm about to kill her when she does what Dave did. She, who had been kind of agnostic in her beliefs, prays to the Almighty. She realizes that Dave's story about me was true, and she prays to the Almighty for help. And now she is suddenly transformed into a vampire killer herself. So she grabs me and I disappear, you know, like, ah, and then I just evaporate. And then Dave comes in and, you know, the two couples embrace and it has a happy ending. my love for horror movies begins with the great 1930s Universal movies, the legendary Dracula with Bela Lugosi, Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, and The Mummy with Karloff, and The Invisible Man. They remain really unsurpassed, I would say. They're just so well made. And in years that have gone by, I've become acquainted with other great vampire movies. One of them even earlier, the film Nosferatu with Max Schreck by F.W. Murnau. That one is about as good as the Lugosi one is. And since then there have been, well, I feel Francis Ford Coppola's movie took the whole thing to a very high level. He did more than anybody else did with the story. And Hammer's movie is good. I don't like it as much as some others do because it has less of the story in it, but it's still a very good movie. And I also like the Frank Langella one. It was made by John Badham, Britain. Had Donald Pleasance in it, and Laurence Olivier, the great Sir Laurence Olivier was in it. But I also like werewolf movies very much too. And mummies too, also, except that the original Mummy movie is so much better than any other Mummy movie. Simply because Karloff had occult powers in it. That's what made him frightening. And the great makeup by Jack Pierce, which is really not matched by anyone else. But really the main thing that made it frightening was that the mummy could kill you from afar just by muttering incantations. And that, to me, was what made it superior to the other mummy movies, in which the mummy is merely a lumbering creature, similar to a zombie from Night of the Living Dead. He can kill you if he gets his hands on you, but he has no occult powers, and he's just a mindless moving machine.